Africa, and welcome to Trendz, bringing you all your latest and trending showbiz and entertainment news out of Africa and internationally. My name, as you know, it's Refil Wemwilwa, and our Twitter handle is @Trendz on SABC. So without much further ado, let's get into it. Our first story for the day is about the amazing, iconic 81-year-old Ndebele painter Mam Esther Mahlangu, who is having a great streak of high-profile collaborations. Now, fresh from designing a limited edition Belvedere red bottle for the Make a Difference campaign alongside US singer John Legend, in which she used his signature colorful style of Ndebele art, and Legend wrote a song for the campaign to raise money for HIV awareness and fighting AIDS in Africa. The doyen of Ndebele art, and if you didn't know it yet, has also partnered with BMW for the second time in her career to design a unique interior of a luxury BMW 7 Series. Here are highlights from the launch of the limited edition red bottle held at the Apollo Theatre in New York last week.
Lothani kunjani nilothisa ngimi Mam Esther Mahlangu ngila kwaNdebele Velte Frere ngiyathokoza.
With many accolades to her name, iconic Ndebele artist Mama Esther Mahlangu graced the Apollo Theatre for the unveiling of the latest Belvedere Red for Change bottle to help fight HIV/AIDS. This time around, she embarked on a collaboration with 9-time Grammy Award winner R&B artist John Legend by fusing music and art to one of the most famous alcoholic brands.
Bese kumnandi bangiphethe kuhle kunganakinga bengabuya kumnandi. Salinga nokudansoko.
But what does this collaboration mean for the R&B superstar?
Oh, I've had so much fun with Esther in our photo shoot and our entire day together that we created the materials for this campaign. And it's been great to just see it all come together.
The 81-year-old Ndebele artist is well known for her bold, large-scale contemporary paintings. She gained her first international attention in 1989 at the exhibition titled Magicians of the World in Europe. 2 years later, she created the first African art car for BMW. Fast forward to 2016, the Ndebele artist has once again teamed up with the German car manufacturer to paint the interior of the latest luxury 7 Series. The vehicle will be on display at the Frieze Art Fair until October 9th, and the profits of the sale will go to the charitable art project, The Art Room. The artistic collaboration between John Legend and Mama Esther is for a good cause.
So RED has a goal to eliminate mother-child transmission of HIV by 2020. And Belvedere is a fantastic partner helping us do that, with 50% of its profits from the red bottle going to fight AIDS.
The night ended with a sterling performance by Legend.
Loves all of you, love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning, 'cause I give you all of me.
Congratulations to Mam Esther Mahlangu. And now, the Josie Film Festival is now in its 5th year. It's dedicated to enhancing the enrichment of local film culture, making sure that Josie's film community grows from strength to strength and reaches a wider audience yearly. Now, the film festival is taking place from the 15th to the 18th of September at Rosebank Cinema Nouveau, Ayetu Lifestyle Center in Soweto, and the Bioscope at the Maboneng Precinct. I'm now joined by festival founder and organizer Lisa Henry. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, thank you.
It's a pleasure. Lisa, I mean, the last time we seriously sat across each other, the Josie Film Festival was just a toddler. It was about 3 years old. You're 5 now.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And, you know, clearly, I mean, you are definitely doing something right. And, you know, people are responding well. So tell us about this year and what people can expect.
I think you're completely right. You know, we started a bunch of volunteers 5 years ago, no budget, just a desire to start this thing, create this platform, and now we're into year 5. And it actually does feel like this year we have come of age in many ways. You know, we're opening with Shepherds and Butchers, and Unsing's latest film, directed by Oliver Schmitz.
Yeah.
That's Thursday the 15th. On the 16th, Friday night, we've got A Billion Lives, which is the African premiere of a US documentary.
Right.
About e-cigarettes and vaping, which are two really big films for us to have.
Sure.
We've got 40 great films, though.
Amazing.
And I would like to tell everyone that I'll give you your money back if you don't like any of them, but my lawyer said I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, don't do that, Lisa. Don't do that on television. But in any case, now, look, every year you have such a great selection of films. And, you know, the great thing, again, about film festivals such as this is when you have the Q&As with the directors afterwards, because sometimes, you know, you get to miss a message of the film, or you get something, you know, a small snippet of part of the bigger picture that they wanted to, you know, deliver. You mentioned Oliver Schmitz. Is he coming down from overseas to be at the premiere?
He isn't. They did ask us if we would fly, but our budget budgets didn't extend. But we do have a video message from him to show before the film screens.
Fantastic man who has done so much. You know, another film, of course, that film docu that everyone is also excited about is the Kulichana docu.
Yes.
You know, look, anybody who's part of youth popular culture knows the story, or well, a bit of it. So to have this, you know, him and Asanda have done an amazing job.
Yes.
So other docus that people, you know, will really sink their teeth into, you know, give us a few names of those. And
well, I think that's one of them. You know, we got the film and we watched it, and I thought, what's this going to be about? And within 5 minutes, I was gripped till the end. Even if you're not a fan of Kulichana, if you don't know his music, this is a really good story about what happened to him and what's happened since, and his recovery, and how he's turned the situation around from being illegally shot by the SAPS.
He's turned it around, right?
It's a fantastic
amazing docu.
There's also Documentally, which is a
big one. We had the trailer for that last week, and that, of course, then, you know, gives you know, a film, and it gives visuals to something that many don't even understand, that our doctors and nurses out there are doing crazy shifts. And it does bring then the question to say, what kind of sound judgment, you know, are they making out there? Because there's no way anybody can work for over 24 hours and actually be, you know, on the level. So fantastic that we have a film like this. Soweto Time of Wrath is another one that, you know, has also done a few rounds at other film festivals. But I think, Lisa, what is it that every year, I mean, when you take stock of, okay, we've shown this work, that didn't work, what is it that this year, you know, you're going to do a little bit differently?
Well, we did put out, when we put out our call for submission, we said we are looking for films that talk to the issues that we're facing in South Africa. I mean, we've had quite a roller coaster ride in this country in the last year.
Definitely.
Although we're not exclusively looking for films like that, we were looking for films like Soweto Time of Wrath, like The People versus the Rainbow Nation. You know, Kulichana story is an indictment on what's happening in South Africa today as well. So we were looking for films that would tell everyone what's going on. But we don't only look for that. You know, there's
the student films as well.
Student films. We were very strict this year with what we've taken. You know, we've got hundreds and hundreds of submissions. We're only showing 40. We're showing 10 student films. Only 2 are South African student films. The rest are from overseas. We had over 150 student films. So I can just guarantee
the process, like you literally start working on the next film clearly the weekend after it closes.
No.
It sounds
3
like
weekends
so much.
after. I do have some news though about that we're just sort of breaking today, which you'll be interested in. We have 2 days of workshops that also run alongside the films. That's at Goethe Institute that we run on Saturday and Sunday, 17, 18 September, where young emerging filmmakers, established filmmakers can come and listen to talks from people established in the business, script writing lessons, etc. But what we do have is Lee Hobbs, who's the Vice President of Emerging Business and Channels at Discovery in London, and he's flying out to talk at our festival.
Amazing.
And we're also going to be announcing next Saturday a very interesting partnership with Discovery and the Josie Film Festival for 2017. So we're thrilled about that.
So you are already on the 2017 one as well. Congratulations, Lisa. Your baby has taken off. This is now, you know, a big kid who's running about and doing so well. Thank you so very much. 15th to the 18th, JFF 2016.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Now, Africa Fashion Week in London kicked off in the British capital, bringing high-profile attention to some of the continent's leading designers. Ahead of the event, industry leaders gathered to discuss the challenges and obstacles the continent's fashion industry faces and asking whether many designers are overlooking the importance of domestic markets. Our reporter Catherine Drew filed this from London.
Goods on display at the African Fashion Conference, held to debate the opportunities and pitfalls for the continent's fashion industry. One of South Africa's leading knitwear designers is attending to talk about the importance of growing domestic markets, which he hopes to conquer on the back of high-end success.
I felt that this is the time, important time more than ever for me to focus on the local South African market because I've penetrated a clientele with higher LSM, which means that I can exploit that opportunity, and also the lower end market as well. I think, in fact, it is a fact that our mass market is the most lucrative.
Others argue it is time Africa's fashion industry stopped looking overseas for endorsement of its products and craftsmanship.
I think we get sidelined and we also get excited by this idea of Western or a celebrity wearing our clothing. We are in vogue and we hold on to that kind of thing, and I realize that it's an African mentality where we actually don't believe that we can make it within our own soils, within our own environments.
While the importance of domestic production and markets has been stressed here, other business leaders have pointed to the importance of manufacturing finished products in a bid to boost the continent's global trade.
Africa as a continent is rich in commodities and natural resources, but what tends to happen is the continent sells it in its raw form and all the value addition is done elsewhere. So what essentially you're doing is you're shipping away jobs, technology, skills, foreign exchange, development.
These issues may take a back seat as models stroll down the catwalk and African designers show off their wares on a global stage this weekend. However, many believe they are key to a successful and sustainable fashion industry. Catherine Drew, SABC News, London.
Thank you to Catherine Drew. Stay tuned, Trendz is back after the break.
Well, they haven't.
No, they haven't.
Do you know why?
Well, we didn't know. Firstly, we'll ask.
I can tell you.
Why?
They say you're selling out.
Why?
Well, I guess that's a question you need to engage them.
Why would the African Union try and separate human rights and women's rights?
Women's rights are indeed human rights.
So we need to be asking ourselves, what kind of society are we? What kind of family structures do we have where fathers turn on their daughters?
If a policeman, is seen to be accessing psychological services, couldn't that be seen as a sign of weakness?
People are waiting for somebody to discover them.
Absolutely.
And that's not everybody's story, am I right? I mean, there's so many of us who can be the best and stars, but you can't sit there and wait for somebody to say, I think what you're doing is great.
Which are so different to his past.
I really wish I could say thanks to him. And mind you, I'm the man. I make coffee and I'm proud of it.
For your daily dose of current affairs, tune in to the SABC News channel.
Welcome back, you're watching Trendz. And now let's take a look at a highlights package of the Savannah Comics Choice Awards 2016. They were held last weekend. And also a new category which was officially announced as part of the awards for 2017 was announced. It will be the Pan-African Comics Choice Award, which will be awarded to African comedians who have contributed the most to the continent's comedy industry as voted for by their fellow comedians. Congratulations to all the funny men and women we have in our comedy industry. Take a look.
Judging by the number of people who descended to Monte Cassino to witness their favorite comedians walk away with awards, it's clear that the Comics Awards have gained popularity over the years, 6 years to be precise. The night belonged to 10 of the best comedians in the country. The Lifetime Achievement Award went to long-standing comedian Casper de Vries, who has more than 30 years in the creative industry. He started his career in comedy in 1986 with his one-man show called Hello South Africa.
Hello South Africa was a show where a lot of people walked out. It was during the state of emergency. People were upset by some things I did, but I knew I was right and I persevered. And look at 30 years later, I can't believe it's 30 years. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like 29 years. I knew I wanted to do comedy and I knew I wanted to be different from 1986, but I met Peter Dirk Uys, who I think is an absolute angel and legend, and he showed me the way to be myself, to be original and to believe in what I'm saying. And so a lot of people along the way that you've got to thank. It doesn't happen by itself, but it's the hands that push you forward and carry you. And for that, I'm so grateful.
The comedy genre in the creative industry is male-dominated. However, Dumi Morake made history by becoming the first ever woman in South African comedy to win the ultimate prize, the Comic of the Year. A new face in the industry, Ebenezer Dimakwane, walked away with the converted Savannah Newcomers Award.
This is my first time being eligible, man, so yeah, it was. It's incredible. People believe in me. Oh, I don't know, man. It feels great. I don't know. I haven't really dwelt on it because I have to go perform now. But I'm in a good space, man. It's incredible, yeah.
And what is your craft all about?
My craft, man. My craft is about changing the world. You know, let's open our eyes to what beauty exists within us all. You know what I'm saying? But let's not ignore the fact that there is some evil. And let's take that out. Let's move forward as good people and have a great time. You know what I'm saying? Let's twerk.
The Intermediate Comic Award went to Yasin Ban, while Goliath and Goliath took the Best Friend of Comedy for the second consecutive year.
This is my second award. I won last year. Guys, I'm gonna cry. Last year I won the Newcomer of the Year, and this year I won the Intermediate. So it means a big thing. I'm getting there. It means people are seeing, and it means that all the comedians, that my industry, my family, my brothers, my sisters, they support me and they like what I do and they want me to do more, and I want them to do more at the same time. We just want SA to build, SA comedy to build, and that's what this means, is that I have the support of my industry to go forward.
The awards also introduced a new category, the Pan-African Comic, which will officially form part of the awards in 2017 as its newest and 12th category. We caught up with some of the comedians from across the continent who were very excited about the news.
It's an opportunity for all other African countries, the comedians in other African countries, to also have the chance to be recognized by the whole of Africa. And it's going to actually help comedians, especially upcoming comedians, to work harder.
For the first time in Africa, I think the people from Savannah, together with the Comedy Awards that bring it out there, is going to motivate a lot of countries to really come together and take comedy seriously. Like, our governments want to take notice that this is actually an art that can pay, especially in my country because it's surrounded by South Africa. It makes more sense.
It's an exciting initiative because sometimes comedy feels lonely and sometimes you feel like giving up. But now that we've been given the platform to come this side and try our luck, it's an exciting challenge for me.
Now stay tuned, I have a special treat regarding Comics Choice Awards in a little bit. But before that, Mac Manaka has done it again with the latest poetry collection of his titled Flowers of a Broken Smile. He launched the book at the Newtown Junction Mall this past Thursday with performances giving us a glimpse of the stories in which he's offering, which mostly are a tribute to his mother, who was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year. Now we're giving away 2 copies of the book, so listen carefully as the answer will be in the following package. Let's take a look.
Oh, river inside the sand, please take me back to the mountain and teach me how to listen to the quiet again. This country of broken proteas, this country of broken proteas is louder than death. I'm even afraid to listen to myself.
And all the emotions that are brewing in a woman's heart, those that are hidden behind a smile, is what he portrays through this latest offering.
Behind each and every one of our smiles, there are politics of the heart. There are politics that nobody wants to deal with. There are literally, the dirt beneath our carpets. So what their poems were about, the collection ultimately, are exposing the dirt beneath my carpet.
Son of the late well-known visual artist, poet, and black consciousness activist Matamela Manaka, and a pioneer of African dance and actress Nomsa Manaka, Maagomele was destined to be the artist that he is today.
I feel a very deep sense of pride. He has kept his focus on what what his purpose is, and that is to write. He has he's followed the path that his dad set for him, and he's just so skilled with words. His ability to paint pictures with words.
I want to cancer with my mother. I want to cancer with my mother. Know when to hold her ash. Slow walk chemo with a smile. Swallow her volcanoes without explosions of sweat.
She gave it to me to read before it was published, and I read a few, and I was very emotional. There's this one that's called Women in My Blood, you know, which is supposed to be dedicated to me, where he talks about, I want to dance cancer out of my mother, you know, and I think that was inspired by when I was busy doing the chemo, you know, during my chemo time, and that's why when he was doing it, he was so emotional, he wanted to cry, and I was crying as well. It was very emotional. In fact, I find the book very emotional for me.
Oral tradition being one of the oldest forms of artistic communication in Africa, by having conversations around the fire, sparking new ways of mediums such as theatre, contemporary dance and poetry, these are still embedded in the heritage of the African culture.
The fact that you are here talking to us about poetry means that poetry and the oral tradition is still significant in a lot of ways. So we're happy that you are here to contribute to that, and that the people who are here to listen to the poetry, to buy the books, are here to contribute to that.
People of this country have managed to take poetry and have given it a life and an energy of its own. I am looking forward. The one thing that I was so excited about today, especially, was how Makumele spoke in his mother tongue. I mean, for me, that is an incredible thing, because a lot of youngsters do it, but you know, they sort of do it. Makumele did it. Makumele was there. Makumele presented himself, and you couldn't miss the fact that he's a young South African of Pedi descent, and that is very important, because remember, words, remember, language is a keeper of memory. So those memories embedded in the language, we always need to remember this.
Please teach me how to women.
Wow, congratulations to Mac, and yeah, his mother, I mean, she is just so strong. Sorry, and yeah, we wish you strength in your recovery against cancer. And now, Black Lives Matter is a film directed by South African filmmaker and journalist Josie. It explores how the mineral wealth rightfully belonging to the people of South Africa has been sold to capitalist interests for the enrichment of a few elite and at the expense of the country, and how traditional communities have been divided in the process. Now, the film takes us on a very interesting and thought-provoking journey through three rural communities who have the richest platinum-bearing reef in the world running underneath their land, and brings to the fore how international mining companies have made dubious deals with traditional leaders whose very legitimacy is questioned by the communities they supposedly serve. Wow, a mouthful. Joseph, welcome to studio. And you are ruffling feathers with this, but this is a very necessary story that needs to be told. And you start off by saying why Marikana can still happen again.
Look, thank you for having me on this program. We look at from the premise that 1994, we all heralded it, you know, with great euphoria. We had won, you know, the world's respect for a new constitution that we had. And we look at it today and see that, you know, there's a lot of corruption and cronyism happening within the society. And the fact that as black people, nothing much has changed pre-1994. And that's what the film really looks at, using the mining as the background or the backdrop of the story to look at it. Yeah.
Wow. And it took you just about 4 years to complete this?
Yeah, between 4 or 5 years. We just completed it now. Just
completed it now.
Yeah.
It almost didn't even show at the Durban International Festival. There was controversy there, and should I even say it's controversy? Just tell us about that. And I mean, you obviously took a stance and said you are passionate about telling this kind of story. It's something that needs to be told, and people need to be made aware if they're not already. But of course, it takes a certain kind of bravery and, craftsmanship to be able to do this.
Yeah, we were threatened with a sort of a gagging order by one of the mining companies. They felt that their side of the story had not been told. And, in fact, what had happened is that there had been negotiations that had happened before, in which they didn't think that this film would really ever happen.
Actually happen, yeah.
And when it did happen, at the last minute, they wanted to get a court injunction.
Jeez, but thankfully it didn't.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen. And so from Durban International Film Festival, where of course many people saw it and it struck a chord with many, since, even Minus Shot Down, that was another great film, but that was specifically just about Marikana. So where does this film go to next? Will it be screened in South Africa? Will it, will people be able to see it soon?
Look, at this stage, distribution is one of our Achilles' heel. We've not been able to sort of master as to where next it will happen in South Africa. But for now, we are looking at going to international film festivals. The next one on the calendar being IDFA in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. And then after IDFA, hopefully we should be going to Sundance in America.
Wow.
And then we've just been invited now to one in Switzerland, which I've never heard of, called Black Movies, happening in Geneva.
Show the story, tell the story. Congratulations for putting together the story that is so important, and that is a part and parcel of every South African story. Thank you very much, Joseph. It's called, it's Why Marikana Can Still Happen. That's the tag-off line for this amazing story called Black Lives Matter. Thank you very much, Joseph.
Thank you again.
All right, and so where are we going to next? We have Ladysmith. We're giving away 2 of Mac Manaka's 3rd poetry collection books. All you have to do is tweet us the title of the book to our Twitter page at Trendz on SABC. So please stay tuned, and when we come back, I have a couple of legends in the studio that I'm sure you'll want to hear what they're here to say.
There must be something. There has to be a place where young entrepreneurs can come, and get advice and interact with people that are knowledgeable.
Business for me, really, it's a calling. I do believe that it is a calling. Because I even remember, even when I was younger, when I was in grade 4, I sold silkworms. And they were quite popular, actually.
I was making a New York brand in South Africa. Being very proud of being a South African, I wanted to make it proudly South African.
For more inspiring stories, stay tuned to Bupilong every Friday.
Welcome back. You're watching Trendz. Now, Monte Casino was a buzzing hive of way too much laughter and merriment last weekend when the Comics Choice Awards took place. 10 of South Africa's best comedians were honored and walking away with the prestigious award that local comedy has to offer, a beautifully crafted Waldo statuette. Now, congratulations to them all. Shout out to, of course, the likes of Skumba, Summary, and also Casper de Vries. But an award that made us all beam with pride goes to a a powerhouse of a woman. I'm so glad to be seated with in studio right now. Tumi Morake made history by becoming the first ever woman to win the ultimate prize of the Comic of the Year award. And we have her here in studio, but also I have Papaho. Limpopo.
Change your accent.
Can we not, please? Let's not start there. Papaho, welcome to studio.
Okay.
On my, don't touch me on my studio.
No matter need. Yeah. But how many more TV? So what did I'm with you.
Dumelang.
Like
Congratulations.
I don't know support Pretoria girls.
No, I can support it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys. Congratulations on your awards.
Thank you.
Jeez, like this conversation just went to the left. But anyway, we have this amazing statue here. Tumi, congratulations.
Thank you.
The one thing that after your win I saw was a very, very emotional interview. And one of the things you said was you wish your mom was here. You wish your mom was here to see, you know, everything you have done. You have struggled through with 3 babies. With a life and everything else. So, you know, take us back to that moment when they actually said you are the winner and you beat all these guys.
I kind of didn't trust it at first. What's about after the stunt we pulled last year, I was like, hey, what if the comedians have decided to be pitted and they're all going to actually pretend I've won and then they'll be the ones punking me.
Right.
And then it all just sunk in, man. And then I realized, Joe, the way I had decided I haven't won this thing, I didn't prepare my 5-minute set.
Wow, right.
Because I decided this guy Oskumba is taking it.
Yeah.
So I didn't bother.
Sure.
And so on my way up, I'm thinking, 5 minutes. 5 minutes in Chisang. And then I got on stage and I realized, you know what? Forget that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's important that I've won this thing.
Of
and
course.
I need to say what's in my heart.
Of course.
And that was it. And what made me emotional was that moment of realizing, because you know, with everything I've done growing in my industry, my mother was the first person I called about anything.
Sure.
And so when this happened and it sunk in and I was on that stage, I realized I don't even get to share this with her. Yes, we can all say she's there, she's seeing it, but
it's not the same.
It's not the same, guys. It's not the same as when you pick up that phone and you hear your mother's voice break because she's so proud of you, you know, and hearing her go, what? We're going to show everybody how door to door, house to house.
Of course you must. Of course you must. Papa, welcome.
But I like what she said,
yes.
got a comic choice about it's a male-dominate
industry. It is.
And they decided to vote for her. It shows.
So you didn't vote for her because I thought this was an industry
my
thing.
Vote. She's here because of my one vote.
Okay. All right.
I love you.
So it's fantastic that you guys voted for her, you know, and I mean, you were the only lady actually on the night who got an award. You won for vernacular comedy.
Oh, non-English.
Non-English.
Which it sounds so wrong.
Yeah, that's like you're a king of vernac.
Why not vernac? Or
I think that is better as well. Over the past 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
You are one of the busiest comedians that, I mean, I can't even now say,
I'm from a show now. I didn't sleep.
You know what I mean? But thank you so very much for coming through. And you didn't even start off. You know, some comedians had to start first doing English and then your.
But
I
did. You started off doing English.
You did the knock-knock jokes as well.
Cool runnings to me.
We used to die together on stage all the time. Like, people don't understand. People think we arrived and we were amazing.
And you just,
But we struggled.
Actually, I did comedy because of the likes of Tum. Because I saw you performing at Vets because I was at Vets with her.
Okay.
And Denzel, remember Denzel?
I remember Denzel, yes.
I want to do this.
Okay.
They used to die in front of me. Then I said, no, but I'm going to make it better.
Yeah.
Okay. So you left the knock-knock jokes.
Yeah.
And then you came and you said, you know what? I mean, you are just you.
Yes. Such a stress that David ordered. Such a stress is
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I mean, just since... I mean, of course, the Comics Choice Awards are your platform for comedians in South Africa, and that's amazing. But even without them, you guys are still well known. Everywhere we go, you know, people will know who Tumi Morake is. People know who Mashabela is. What do you think you can do better than what you've already done?
Well, I think reach the other corners of South Africa that nobody thinks about. Because for us, it's easy to hit big cities and neighboring smaller towns. But there's so much more. And also just
starting to put our tentacles in the rest of Africa, because also you find that a lot of Southern Africa is watching what we're doing, consuming what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I think that's the one thing we can do better. But otherwise, this industry is so ahead of its time already, just in terms of how quickly it's growing, how what's the word, sustainable it is. Because I mean, I think you'll agree with me. How you're into comedy, you can be making your money. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be doing public shows. There are people who just live on corporates. There are people who just live on clubs. There are people who just live on touring. You know what I mean?
That's me.
And that's Mashabel. He makes a kid. I've already begged him, like, please, when am I opening at your next one-man show?
We
he
know,
eats money,
and
this
there's
guy.
also a clothing line, there's music, there's what don't you do?
Yeah.
I'm like Jomosono of comedy.
And he can spring clean your house.
Oh, he can spring clean.
He can even spring clean.
Wow.
I even cook for my wife.
Boy, that's fantastic, as you should.
I'm married to, just that my ring, it's because I'm an artist.
That's great.
I'll stick
with his story. We're not still at home with the kids. Well, guys, what do you have to say about the young guys? I mean, someone who has done such a phenomenal job, Skumba, you know, and he's also been, you know, doing this for me. Why aren't you feeling so?
Because it's my lane. The trend on drop a pele
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought right. But I mean, someone like him, the likes of Ebenezer, the likes of Samari, you know, those guys are doing an amazing job, and they also, I mean, literally have left their daytime jobs to, you know, because they fully believe. And I think, you know, when you have people who've gone internationally, it shows that, you know what, I can be from the smallest corner of South Africa somewhere, but I can make it.
I always say it doesn't matter where you come from.
Yeah.
Your dreams are valid.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, deep, wait.
Thank you.
We
didn't know.
Any soil.
We didn't know. And so, to me, well, social media and the papers and media are going crazy about your Thanksgiving ceremony. So I don't know if that's next for you.
And actually, only after I said it, I was like, Joe, these are Dark Zambanis. Dark Zamban is going to hear slaughterings. They know it doesn't require an invite.
SPCA is
Why am I telling
you?
people this thing? Because they're all going to be there. Yeah, but I made the mistake because now once you've told the country, now it means
the country is listening.
I must actually close the street off.
So Instagram, Twitter, where are you performing? Where can guys get a hold of you next?
Okay. Me, I'm doing Indigenous Food Festival, 24 December, Heritage Day.
24 September. September.
No, September. 24 September, Heritage Day, Constitutional Hill, Bramfontein.
Am I invited?
Thank you.
You are invited.
We are all invited.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tickets are available at CompuTickets.
Yeah.
And I love you. My wife, she's watching. I love you, Mutwak.
Oh, she's not so mind. People should just follow me as well.
Yes, they should follow you.
Do me _ and everything that's happening will be right there.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes. Heritage Month, congratulations.
Thanks for that one. Even though mine, I not genie.
Yes, we need to note. Mine is the only Waldo that's not naked.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because, yes, that's great.
Wow, you look so presentable, eh?
Yeah, no, right? She's like presentary.
Oh my gosh.
And that's how we do our hair.
All right, okay. Let's end this interview now. Now, it is September, and that means spring is, of course, in. And with all the beautiful spring clothing collections that we've shown from the recent fashion weeks, we thought we'd also check out what's hot on the makeup scene. So Trendz visited a beauty clinic in Sandton for a bit of a tutorial. So ladies, watch.
Spring has officially sprung, and what better way to get ready for the warmer days than with a fresh and glowing beautiful spring look on your face. Applying makeup can sometimes be a bit tricky, especially if you have not had any makeup tutorials or are relying on good old social media websites. Well, if that's the case, we've got you sorted. Trendz visited Faiza Sakur, a makeup specialist who gave us a top-down lesson on makeup and spring colors. Prepping the skin before application is integral. Here we see some of our models being moisturized and iced. This is dabbing ice on the skin to open up the pores that get clogged by the makeup. Next, it's time for some concealer.
If you've done a history of art and makeup, green, orange, lilac and white are the most important concealers for any makeup artist. So if we're trying to cover an under eye area, we need to use an orange. Sorry, are you okay? Sorry, I startled you. Okay, so the orange is for covering darkness under the eyes. Look up, open your eyes. And you don't push a lot of a concealer on the skin, because then you're going to have orange, green and purple, and she's just going to look like a Christmas tree. For a highlight,
once all the blemishes have been concealed, the foundation can be applied. And here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Have you ever taken a photograph of yourself and when you looked at it, you resembled Casper? That's due to you not having chosen the right color.
So let's go through skin tones. She's got a yellow undertone. So you're always with a yellow undertone, in my opinion, being in the industry for 21 years, mix 2 colors for a yellow undertone. You're never going to get a shade that suits your skin. Let's just forget about it. You need 2 foundation colors. It's going to be more expensive for you. So if we're going to mix 2 colors for you, and always test your foundation on your inner arm. That's your true color, or between your jawline and your neck. That's how you're going to get a true color, because your face tends to be in the sun a lot and gets slightly darker, and then your neck and face never match. You also want a foundation color that's at least a shade darker than your natural skin tone, so that when somebody looks at you, it doesn't look, whoa, she's wearing foundation.
You can also shade some areas of the face with a darker foundation to create shape on the face and highlight the nose and cheeks. Makeup is about building up your look. When it comes to eyeshadow, use a base color closest to your skin tone, just as you can see on Miss Heritage Gauteng Sherry Ann.
And this area is very close set. We want to highlight here, because she's got close set eyes.
Natural is seemingly hitting the road, and bold is back. Alicia opted for the risky dark blue eye as she celebrates the coming of spring. Eyebrows form part of that desired look, so let's see how it's done by the experts.
Whoa, it's bold. It looks good. With eyebrows, we don't want solid lines on her, so we're going to try and balance the brows, corner of the nose to corner of the eye, so it's going to start somewhere there. I'm going to go with the light brown. A little lighter than her eyebrow color. Nice solid line. And you always work from
The Whispers of Spring 2016 love red lips. Our model Lucretia went with a soft smoked eye and a beautiful red lip, keeping it natural with a pop of boldness.
Deep strokes, because
So, who said men don't wear makeup? The Metro man is showing up more and more and realizing the importance of being well groomed and looking good. Makeup isn't only for TV. Man can wear it every day as well. And without looking made up, they get that fresh look that's so sought after. And that's it for us here at the Santon Beauty Clinic. We hope you loved it.
Now we're giving away 2 of Mac Managa's 3rd poetry collection books. All you have to do is tweet us the title of the book to our Twitter page at Trendz on SABC. Now please stay tuned, because after the break we will be speaking to members of the legendary Ladysmith Black Mambazo. I am so looking forward to that. You don't want to miss out.
On Network, we tell you about Africa's social media and technology landscape.
21st century economies rely on technology to truly thrive.
We have quite a comprehensive portfolio of interventions in the tech entrepreneurship space.
And Africans are using tech and social media to solve the continent's unique challenges.
App Nigeria is an online marketplace.
Radio Vibe is a social media platform for radio music.
That's Network with me, Spumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time.
Now this is Trendz, of course, your one-stop serving of all that's juicy and trending in the world of entertainment and showbiz. My name, of course, is Refill Wemwilo.
I'm Dr. Sello Mutaung, and this is our talk.
A very good morning and welcome to Media Monitor. I'm your host, Alicia Jolly.
My name is Dumila Matters.
William Mulabati.
My name is Mpo. What time is it? It's question time.
For your daily dose of current affairs, tune in to the SABC News Channel.
Welcome back. Now, a stampede of posh editors, fashion bloggers, as well as stylists attended New York Fashion Week, which kicked off earlier this past week. Now, fashion designers showcased their spring-summer 2017 collections, but as with any big showcase, they unfortunately had also their own share of mishaps. And case in point being Kanye West's Yeezy Season 4 range. Have a look.
A much-anticipated Yeezy Season 4 collection by Kanye turned out to be a flop. Camo-inspired hooded jackets and shorts and off-the-shoulder sweater dresses gave the collection weight. But it's safe to say that the show, which featured models sitting in the hot sun and music that sounded like Finding Nemo's Dory talking to a whale, was not received as well as his last show. Fashion brand Nicolas K maintained their lead position. The New York-based brand, with a style affectionately called Urban Nomad, sent 47 looks down the runway, inspired by the desert of the Wadi Rum. Each look was paired with an oversized visa and ultra-high ponytails. And Indian acid attack survivor redefined beauty at the Fashion Week. The 19-year-old is the face of the non-profit Make Love Not Scars campaign that helps survivors of acid attacks.
I want to show people that there is nothing in a face. Even though I look like this, I can do things and I can be a model. That is why I decided to do this.
And now, for the moment, multi-Grammy Award winners Ladysmith Black Mambazo will celebrate their 56th anniversary by hosting a special concert for only 2 nights at the Joburg Theatre on the 10th and 11th of September. That's this evening and tomorrow. Now, the group first came together in the early 1960s under the guidance of Bab Joseph Shabalala and became part of every worldly musical collector's music collection from China to America and Timbuktu, with their amazing harmonies and moves that have for many decades reminded us how important the tradition of the Zulu choral music that is called Isicathamiya is. Now, with over 30 albums recorded, 4 Grammy Awards, 16 nominations and accolades from every corner of the world, with many more still coming. Now, this is a group who really have the harmonies of timelessness entrenched into its DNA. Welcome to the studio. Fantastic. Just unfortunate that, of course, our studio couldn't accommodate at least half of you. Yes. But I'm so honored today. My goodness. Baba, welcome. You have been there, since. Yes. Tell us, what, 56 years together, still doing something that I'm sure even when you started, you might not have thought, all the international fame would have come with this.
No, we never thought of that. But one thing that we believe in, we said we want to. That was just when we were bluffing ourselves. We want to take this music all over the world. Yeah. So how we can do it? Yeah. We are going to do that.
But you did that by being yourselves.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It's Heritage Month in South Africa. Yes. You are that group that it doesn't matter whether you understand Zulu, you don't understand it, but your music just resonates with everyone.
The music, it's a universal language. Everyone can understand the music. Yeah. It doesn't matter that you don't understand the relics, but the music, the sound, and then the message, you get it there.
Yes. Wow. And then part of the younger generation. Welcome, Dede. And tell us about, your journey. And was it a natural thing that, you saw it in the family? Everybody was doing this, your uncles, your dad, and it was a natural thing for you to then be a part of the group too?
It was kind of like a natural thing because my father, he's the leader of the group.
That's
he's the one who formed the group.
Yes.
When we were growing up, he was always teaching us this kind of music.
Sure.
So when it was our time to join in 1993, it wasn't very difficult for us to join.
Okay.
Yes.
And did Bab Shabalala, was it a case of he said, okay, now you are old enough, you can understand this, crazy world that you're coming into, or was it a case of you always saying, Baba, can I? Did you, nudge him and say, I want to be a part of your group?
Actually, some members retired because the touring can be very tough. And my uncle Baba Mngane, he passed on.
Right.
So actually, it's my mother who was pushing us, and also talking to my father. And he said, instead of like going back, going to other people, try to teach them. It's easy to just take these kids because
it's in your blood.
Yes.
It's in your blood. How is Bob Shabalala nowadays? He retired 2 years ago?
Yes, he retired 2 years ago. He's okay, but at the age of 76 with the back surgery, the life is not that. It's not the same, but it's okay.
He doesn't miss it. He doesn't miss the road. He doesn't miss the big stages. That must be, a kind of a big transition as well to get used to. But having been all over the world, and you've just come back from a North American and Europe tour, am I correct?
Yes.
So it's been a busy year for you already. And I mean, coming from that, tell us about what is that one stage that you went on and you even had to take a moment and say, oh my gosh, from our humble beginnings, we are on this huge stage. What's that one or two places?
Oh, let me start with the stage. It wasn't that big, but it was a very important event that happens to us. When we were invited by our late Dr. Nelson Mandela to accompany him to Norway in Oslo, when he went there to receive his Nobel Peace Prize. That one, it stands out to me all the time because we said, wow, we are witnessing this event, what is happening in our country.
Right.
And also, I remember when we were touring with Paul Simon.
Of course, the 1980s.
Yes,
that
1987. The
time.
first concert that we had, it was in Holland. It was the arena. So once we did our song, Paul Simon introduced us, and then we did the song, No Matemba. After we finished the song, the people just stood up, and then they clapped until they stomped at their feet. It felt like it was a thunder. So that I look up and said, wow,
Africa had arrived. And of course, then after that, your diamonds on the soles of your shoes. I mean, so many great, songs that people sing to, that people dance to. Choreography, who does that? Because it's such an amazing thing that as part of the group, there's no way that you can't not do the choreography as well. So who's responsible for that?
Now they are responsible.
When we were growing up, he was responsible. But now we all chip in and all put something in the song to choreograph the song.
Wow. I mean, tonight and tomorrow, 2 nights only. So many people, I'm sure, wish you could do this throughout the entire country. Because how do you choose? How do you choose in just 2-3 hours over 50 years of music? What can people expect?
It's very difficult to choose, but we know the favorite songs for the people here in South Africa. The songs that when we start singing, they sing with us. So we'll try to sing almost all of these albums from 1960s to until now. We'll try to do our best. We will do our best.
No, you have to, I'm sure. And I mean, of course, being honored, having Grammys even. You've got 4 Grammys, that I'm correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm sure there'll still be more to come, but 16 nominations.
Absolutely. There will be more coming. And then I used to tell myself that I'll retire when we have 10.
When you have 10. Okay. So just work on that. But I mean, you are parents, you are South Africans, we're celebrating Heritage Month. As just a last, closing comment, what would you have to say to musicians and young people nowadays who might not even necessarily know about you, but your longevity in the industry and your power is in being your true African Zulu selves?
You just answered that question because it takes just being yourself and believe in yourself. It doesn't matter that it doesn't sound like somebody else because what the world needs, it needs you, your uniqueness.
There's only one
That's only you have. That's
Tulani, and for the younger generation?
To the younger generation, I would say we all have an inborn gift from our God. We need to use those kind of gifts. But also be very careful, more especially when you come to this fame or known, where some people will trap you with drugs. We have a big problem with young people being trapped in drugs. So I just want to to ask them to be very careful, to be aware.
Thank you so very much for the generations and decades of music. It's going to be an awesome event, 10th and 11th of September.
Yes.
The apple surely didn't fall far from the tree. Thank you
Yes.
for
Thank
your
you very
legacy.
much. Thank you.
And now we play out with a music video of the legendary Ladysmith Black Mambazo titled Ngeke Bayiqede. Join me again next week. It's been an amazing show. Goodbye.
Sihlale phansi thina nawe sobabili sikhulumele indaba ngoba bezizwe ngeke bayiqede peace uza mntaka baba sihlale phansi thina nawe sobabili sikhulumele indaba ngoba bezizwe ngeke bayiqede abezizwe woza wena abezizwe hayibo abezizwe ngempela mntaka baba ngeke bezizwe angeke bezizwe abezizwe wemntaka baba